Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with my full review of the Fiio Ft5 open back headphone. And my apologies to both APOS Audio and my viewers for taking so long. It's been about 5, maybe 6 months since I did my first impressions of this, but this hit right at about the time the lawn care season took off, and I had 4 really busy months and only got a few reviews out during that time. So once again, sorry for taking so long. This was loaned to me by APOS Audio for review, and it currently sells for $499.99 through APOS Audio, and there will be a link below this video in the notes where you can go to APOS Audio, and any purchase you make using that link helps support this channel, and we appreciate it. This is a wired, full-size, over-the-ear, open-back headphone. It uses 90mm planar magnetic drivers. It has an impedance of 36 ohms, a sensitivity of 96 decibels at 1 milliwatt, so it's fairly easy to drive. Little harder than most dynamic driver headphones unless you get into high impedance, but about the same as some of the easier to drive planar magnetics, like say the newer Hi-Fi Man, like the Ananda Nano, the Aria Stealth, Aria Organic, that sort of headphones. It needs a little bit of amp behind it, but not a whole lot. Fiio claims a weight of 456 grams on this. I weighed in on my scale, slightly heavier at 470 grams, but just a little on the heavy side, but not too bad. The ear cups, yokes, and I believe the grills are made of a magnesium aluminum alloy, and it's really well built, really nice headphone. I'll give you a close-up look in a few minutes. I really like the way this headphone looks. Comes with a detachable cable that is about 5 feet long, and I really like this cable. It's really soft, really flexible, has a nice cloth covering on it, and at the amp end it actually has you have an option of 4 different connections. It is a balanced cable, but you can use it as a balanced cable or single-ended. What you do is you switch this end here, and it comes with these ends here. This one is a 3.5mm single-ended, and you can swap that out for, sorry, I had the wrong end here. You can swap that out for this, which is a 4.4mm Pentacon. And I checked inside, and this does have 4 connections, so it is a truly balanced cable. If you use this connection, the 3.5, it just combines the grounds at this point. So, but using the balanced connectors, you can use it safely with your balanced amp. So the way this works, if you're running balanced, you have a choice of either the 4.4mm Pentacon, or you can snap on this adapter, and now it becomes a 4-pin full-size XLR. Or you switch over to the 3.5 single-ended, and then you can use the 6.3mm single-ended adapter. But like I said, very nice cable. One of the nicer cables I've seen come with any headphone at any price, actually. This headphone also comes with 2 sets of ear pads. You've got this set here that is suede, and that was what was on the headphone originally, and then these are a protein leather. And just to make sure, I looked it up. Protein leather does mean synthetic leather. And when I first got this headphone, it came with the suede ear pads, and I'll be honest with you, the first time I tried it with the suede ear pads, I was not impressed by this headphone at all. I thought it lacked detail. I thought the bass was muddy. It just wasn't impressed. It was not a good sounding headphone, but I quickly switched over to the synthetic leather pads, and it was a huge improvement. I'm going to go ahead and show you the headphone up close before I forget. Like I said, all magnesium, aluminum, very nice looking headphone. The build quality is exceptional. These are your connections for your 3.5 millimeter cable. The ear cups swivel this way, they swivel this way. You've got a self-adjusting strap on the headband. The ear pads are tapered, as you can see. These, like I said, are the imitation leather. They're very soft, and I'm almost sure they have memory foam inside. And I really like the way this headphone looks. And like I said, the build quality is exceptional. It's, like I said, slightly heavy at 470 grams, but not at all an issue really with me with the weight. I mean, heavy headphones really don't bother me, but I find these very comfortable. The clamping force is just about perfect, enough that they don't move. If I tip my head, I don't have to worry about them falling off, but not squeezing my head at all. And little snug on the inside, but around my ears, but not bad at all. And like I said, I actually find these very comfortable. This headphone, excuse me, also comes with this suede bag to keep them in. And then it also comes with not really a hard case, kind of a semi-hard case. And in the description from the APO site, it calls this a leather case. And I'm not sure if this is real leather or not. It just seems kind of strange to me that if they're using a synthetic leather on the ear pads, why would they use a real leather on the case? But it might be, I'm not sure. It's actually a really nice case, and there's room for the cable and the connectors in there. The second pair of ear pads, you'll have to put those somewhere else. Store them in the box, I guess. Excuse me just a second. Before I get into the sound, I wanted to mention the equipment I'm using. My source is a Shanling ET3 CD transport that I got about a month and a half ago and love so far. And I will be doing a review of that soon. A couple of DACs that I used were the Topping D70S MQA version, the Audio GD R8 MK2, which is a R2R DAC, this huge DAC sitting up here that weighs about 26 pounds. I also used the Fiio K11 R2R, which is a combination amp DAC, and used it as a combination amp DAC, and the Hi-Fi Man Serenade, which is also a combination amp DAC. You can see sitting right here. And then I also tried it with the Wells Audio V8 OTL tube amp. I think you might be able to catch a glimpse of that over here. I'm not sure. It's an OTL tube amp, but it actually works very well with planar magnetics, and even hard to drive planar magnetics all the way up to the Susvara. It's actually outstanding with the Susvara Unveiled, which needs a little less power than the original. But anyway, and then I also tried this with the Bursting Conductor 3 reference amp. Like I said, this headphone is pretty efficient, doesn't need a whole lot of power. So getting into the sound of this, I'm going to try to describe the sound balance, or the tone balance, as kind of sloped, where it starts out a little higher. There's a little bit of emphasis in the bass, and then it drops off a little bit to a sort of neutral to actually on the warm side of neutral mid-range. And then the treble, it's not a V shape. The treble does not come back up. The slope continues. And in my opinion, the treble is pretty mellow on this headphone, a little bit rolled off in my opinion. But I do like headphones that are slightly on the bright side. So to me, it sounds a little rolled off in the treble, but my ears aren't real sensitive to treble like some of you. So if you're sensitive to treble, this might be exactly what you're looking for. So anyway, the extension on the bass end is good on this headphone. It does extend well into the sub bass. The extension on the treble end, like I said, to me it sounds a little rolled off. but once again, I like Hi-Fi Man treble, and a lot of people find Hi-Fi Man treble too bright. So if you're one of those people, this might be perfect for you. The bass on this headphone, it has good weight, pretty good slam to it. It's the quality of the bass is very good, but it's not the absolute last word in tightness. It sometimes it gets not to the point of being muddy or what I would call loose, but it's not the absolute tightest bass I've heard. But it is good. It does sound good. The mids on this, I really like the mids. The mids are nice and warm and rich. Vocals, especially female vocals, sound beautiful on this. No harshness, nice liquid, warm sound, and never sounds analytical, just really pleasant. Listening to vocals on this, like I said, especially females, is just a really pleasant, enjoyable experience. The treble on this headphone, like I said, a little bit rolled off, where to me it lacks sparkle. I hear the treble, it's there, it's present, but it's just the volume is kind of low on the treble. It does not have a lot of treble energy. And I actually prefer a little bit more energy in the treble. But like I said, I kind of like headphones that lean a little bit towards the bright side. The treble, though, you don't have to worry about the treble being harsh or fatiguing, anything like that. But if you do like aggressive treble with a lot of energy, if you're a treble head, this isn't the headphone for you. Okay, detail and resolution I would describe as good, but it is definitely not the last word in detail. I mean, the detail is there, it's just not in your face. Some other headphones in the same price range, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, do out detail this headphone. Soundstage, it has good width, but I would say average amount of height, not a whole lot of height. Some other headphones have more, and decent depth, but nothing outstanding about the depth. The imaging on this headphone I would describe as slightly vague. It does, to me, it doesn't have pinpoint imaging. I mean, the separation is there where the instruments don't sound all crowded together, but the actual separation of instruments, I'm not hearing big empty spots in between them. They're kind of touching each other. And the imaging, like I said, isn't pinpoint where I'm hearing sounds coming from one specific location. They're coming from a little bit more of a larger area. Forgiveness, and what I mean by that is this headphone's ability to play less than perfect recordings and without sounding bad. And I'd say the forgiveness on this is excellent because of two reasons. Because number one, the mid-range is warm and rich, and not overly detailed, so you're not going to bring out, little distortions or little flaws in the recording. And because of the treble being a little rolled off and not bright, you're not going to hear flaws in the high end of this. So you can listen to pretty much any music with this. And like I said, the quality of the recording, this isn't going to bring out good recordings, decent recordings, and make them unlistenable like some headphones would. I mean, an extremely detailed headphone can make you end up only listening to a few of your best recordings, and you bypass the less than perfect music that you have because you don't want to hear the flaws in it. So comfort, once again, very good, very comfortable headphone. Slightly on the heavy side, but not bad. So I did want to compare this to a couple of other headphones, and I'm going to start with the Hi-Fi Man Ananda Nano. Okay, when I did my first impressions of this headphone, it was $449 at that time. It's now $499. The Hi-Fi Man Ananda Nano was $420 at that time, so there was a $30 difference. The Nano is now $369, so the Nano is now $130 less expensive than this headphone, and that makes some pretty tough competition for this headphone. This headphone, in a lot of ways, I prefer it to the Nano. Number one, much nicer cable. This cable is nicer than the cables that come with even the high-end Hi-Fi Man headphones. Okay, the build quality of this, just the materials, magnesium aluminum alloy instead of plastic. Just the build quality is definitely above Hi-Fi Man. The looks, in my opinion, are above Hi-Fi Man. The materials are above Hi-Fi Man. But compared to the Ananda Nano, reaches just as deep or deeper into the sub bass, but I think the bass is a little more well controlled, a little tighter on the Nano. As far as detail and resolution, I would say the Nano pretty easily out details this headphone. There's just more, without a doubt, there is significantly more detail retrieval with the Nano. Okay, the treble has a lot more energy on the Nano, so if you do like energy in your treble, if you want that sparkle, the Nano does have a lot more sparkle to the treble than this. So basically, sound-wise, I would choose the Nano over this, but build-wise and materials and all that, I would choose this over the Nano. Okay, then I compared this to the Aria Stealth, also from Hi-Fi Man, which currently sells at $599. So it's actually $100 more expensive than this. And to me, my opinion, and I hadn't done it until just the other day, I'd never compared the Ananda Nano to the Aria Stealth directly. And in my opinion, the Ananda Nano is not very far from the Aria Stealth. It's very close in quality. I would say about the only differences are the Stealth out details the Ananda Nano by a little bit, and it has a little more height and a little more depth to the sound stage. Other than that, they actually sound very similar. So where the Ananda Nano outdoes this headphone as far as detail, as far as tightness of the bass, as far as treble, the Aria Stealth does it by an even greater margin. Not a huge, but a larger margin. So comparing this to the Aria Stealth goes just as deep into the sub bass, but tighter, better controlled bass. Definitely more detail, higher resolution. Definitely more energy in the treble. Both the Nano and the Stealth are a little V-shaped, so it does have that bump in the treble. So where does that leave me? Bottom line with this headphone. I actually really like this headphone. This is not a bad headphone at all. And when I listened to this before I compared it to anything, I really did enjoy it. I really enjoy listening to this headphone. It's a very pleasant sound. There's no harshness. It's very enjoyable, and it's not fatiguing, because sometimes, an extreme amount of detail, especially if you're listening to a less than perfect recording, can actually get kind of fatiguing. And this headphone's just a little more laid back, a little easier going, and very enjoyable. I really do enjoy listening to this headphone. It wasn't until I compared it to the Ananda Nano and the Aria Stealth that I realized it wasn't reaching the same level of detail as those headphones. I realized the bass wasn't quite as tight. And I definitely, before I compared this to anything, did realize that the treble was a little lacking in my opinion. Just, you know, like I said, lacked that sparkle and that extension into the high notes. But other than that, I really like the headphone. The build quality and the materials is outstanding. It's a very good, I'm not sure if I mentioned this. This was the first planar magnetic headphone from Fiio, and in my opinion, a very good first effort. Like I said, the cable's outstanding, and the only flaw is that at this price range, this headphone has some serious competition from Hi-Fi Man. Once again, the Ananda Nano sells for right now $130 less than this headphone, and in my opinion, outdoes it a little bit sound-wise, but not build quality. And then the Aria Stealth outdoes it a little bit more, but that is $100 more than this headphone. So who do I recommend this headphone to? If you're looking for an alternative to Hi-Fi Man, a lot of people out there just don't like Hi-Fi Man headphones. It may be because the treble's too bright, or it might be their reputation, which I have never had any problems with any Hi-Fi Man headphones. But if you do not want a Hi-Fi Man headphone, this is a great alternate. If Hi-Fi Man treble is too bright for you, once again, this might be a better choice for you. It's the treble is definitely more tame than Hi-Fi Man. The build quality is exceptional. It's a nice looking headphone. I really like it. It's a very pleasant to listen to headphone. Like I said, a great first effort at a planar magnetic from Fiio. And yes, I can recommend this unless you're a treble head, or unless you're looking for that last ultimate amount of detail. If that's the case, then you're probably better off with something like Hi-Fi Man. But anyway, I do like this headphone, and for the right people, I'm sure you're going to like this headphone. So I'm going to wrap it up with that. Once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video helped you, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. And the Headphone Experience on Facebook is up over 37.5 thousand members. I'd like to see you all over there. And once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. Thanks for watching my video.